Ibadan Ile, the city of the battle-worn warriors, lords of the fearsome homestead. Its beauty rises like the sun. The city that warmly receives strangers, which is why Teniola and Folarin's wedding received guests from home and abroad. It was the talk of the town. But hold on, it was indeed the talk of the town, but not for the elaborate, beautifully put together event of two gorgeous couple, but it was the talk of the town because of what happened at the wedding. The sun rose gently over the quiet streets of Ibadan, but inside the Alade family compound, the air was tense. With the buzz of preparations, the elaborate ceremony set to bring together two wealthy Yoruba families. Every corner of the compound was draped in gold and deep red fabrics, the chosen colors of the Aso Ebi. Music played softly as vendors, decorators, and family members bustled about, making sure nothing was out of place. Tenny was a vision. Her smile never wavered as she greeted guests, accepted compliments, and posed for pictures. But beneath her radiant appearance was a subtle stiffness. She kept checking the time, her fingers occasionally trembling as they brushed her intricate skin. Her older cousin had noticed and whispered, "Are you okay?" Tenny only nodded with a smile. How could she answer that? Hmm, what a misery behind that Ashwebi. Folarin, her soon-to-be husband, arrived with his entourage. Charismatic and composed, he was everything a Yoruba groom should be: tall, well-spoken, and dripping with elegance. The crowd cheered as he danced in, but behind his perfect teeth was a jaw clenched too tightly, eyes that avoided lingering in one place. If anyone had watched closely, they would have noticed that how Tenny and Folarin's eyes barely met. Just 3 days earlier, Tenny had overheard a conversation between Folarin and one of his groomsmen. She had meant not to eavesdrop. It wasn't on purpose. She was only trying to surprise him with a pre-wedding gift. But what she heard instead was chilling. A secret long buried. Folarin, years ago, had involved in a brutal confrontation that left a man dead. And guess who this man was? The brother of Tenny's childhood friend. It had been covered up. The blame shifted, but the gift, the blood, was very real. Tenny had spent the days since then torn apart. To speak meant to unravel everything: the wedding, the family's alliance, her parents' pride, her carefully curated future. Yet, silence meant marrying a man with blood in his hands. No one would believe her. Not at all. Not even now. Not when everything had been paid for. The entire community invited, and her mother's eyes constantly wet with joyful tears. As the ceremony progressed, Tenny stood beside Folarin, their hands linked under the official's prayers. Her fingers twitched. Her heart pounded louder than the talking drums. She glanced at her father, the respected Chief Alade, smiling proudly. She thought of the man who died, his sister, her friend, who never found peace. She wanted to put an end to the ceremony. She wanted to stop and run, but she couldn't find a word. Now she hates her husband to be. How would she go on? But instead, she forcefully lets those words out. Yes, I do. Oh, yeah, that was it. Finally, she bursted out in agreement to this wedding. Now, how would she face the world? How would she face her friend? How would she ever confront her husband about what he had done to her best friend's brother? What would she do knowing all these things? How would she keep this a secret? How would she ever live with it? And she thought of herself, of this new chapter about to be written in lace and lies, buried in Aso Ebi.